Okay, so this should build directly off of the assignment or the notes that we just did. Okay, so this isn't due till the beginning of next week. So if you're not comfortable with this yet, start with the homework. Go through the homework, have it kind of backfill some of those things. Then you can review these notes, but this will be turned into me. And the only way you get credit for this is if all of these questions are done perfectly. No ifs, ands, or buts. Okay? You guys are lucky. What I used to do when I would teach this is I would hand it out to the class, and this is what I would have done with you. I would have passed it out and said, you have 30 minutes to be turned in perfectly. Go. And I've never had a class not finish it. It's stressful, but people can get through it. You are capable of doing this. You're going to be doing it somewhat independently. I will give you time at the beginning of next week. If there's something you're struggling with or something you missed, I'll let you fix it. But it is turned into me beginning of next week. Perfect or no credit. Fair enough? Okay. That being said, what do I want you to do? You need to start by identifying the slope and the y-intercept. The slope, which I label as our m, what words go here? 1 over what? Awesome. But I still argue that if that was enough, then we'd all be able to graph no problem. That's not helpful. I argue that if that was enough, we'd all have no problem graphing, right? So what do we do, though? I said think of it as change in over change in. And if you want to get fancy, you can use delta y and delta x. The b is called the... I prefer you put the y in front of it. It is called just the intercept, but if you put it on the x-axis, we're going to have problems. So you need to know not only is it an intercept, it is an intercept on the y-axis. Is that fair enough? Okay. Where the graph crosses the, hence y-intercept, where what equals 0? Anywhere on the y-axis, x equals 0. And you'll get a point from that. That point will be 0, comma, b. Your instructions. Each of these, you will rewrite the equation into slope-intercept form. After that, you will stop and identify m equals and b equals. And then from that information, you should be able to graph it. Does that make sense? We will go through 2. The rest, you're on your own. Working together, whatever, but I'm not helping you. Okay? First one. How do I get it in slope-intercept form? What are you doing? You're solving for? Solve. Why is it doing that? Sorry about that. Sorry. Solve for y, right? So I heard subtract the. What's left on the left side? Is equal to on the right side. Not negative 8 of anything. Don't do that, right? Keep them separated and put the x. It's not wrong if the x is not at the beginning, but we do this for simplicity. Okay? Last but not least, everything is divided by 3, or in fact a negative 3 like you said. And so now y is equal to plus. From that, can you identify m equals? M equals what? The 2 over 3 is now positive because the negative over negative is positive. And the b is now what? I'm fine with that. I would encourage you to know that what point does that mean? What point? Because this is, remember, this is where we start, right? Yes. So what point is that if b is 2? 2. 0, 2. Plot a point at 0, 2. How are we doing? Solve it. Label m equals b equals. We graph it then. Graph it starting at the y-intercept. And from there, use the, that's the second part, use the slope. That's positive 2, positive 3. That means 2 what? 2 up over 3 to the right. So not from the origin, from the y-intercept up 2 over 3. What if I wanted another point? What if I want another point? What if I want to go backwards? It's not a big deal. You need at least 2 points. Could you draw the line from that?
Yes.
Was that faster than making a table? Is there anything wrong with making a table? But this is, you will have all of this on here to get full credit. Each one is solved, each one has the M label, B label, and each one is graphed accurately. Fair enough? You might not want to do this in pen. Just saying. Can I do another one? Any questions on this before we go on? Because I'm going to send you out into the world to do this. You're okay with that? All right. Second one, is that ready to graph? The instructions say get it in slope-intercept form. Get it in y equals, is that y equals?
No.
How would you do that? I do it to one side. What is left on the left side?
4.
Is equal to?
-4.
What more do I need to do to get that in slope-intercept form? Don't mess with it then. It's in y equals mx plus b. So what is our m? What is our b? Oh, I like that. -4 over what, though? Over 1. I like that. I actually prefer the fraction, don't I? What's our b? Notice I don't want that to be a fraction. I don't want the y-intercept to be a fraction. I want the slope to be a fraction, right? So what's the point that I know? Very good. That's a point. That is called the y-intercept, right? 0, 4, plot a point. How will I get to the next point? 4 negative or 4 down, 1 to the 4 down, 1 to the right, plot a point. 4 down, 1 to the right, plot a point. 4 down, 1. You don't need that many points, but that I do because I don't draw very straight lines. If you want to go up and left, you can as well. I don't really care as long as you get a relatively straight line, at least 2 points. And don't forget the arrows. I will encourage you, please make sure there are going to be some things that you have to simplify. So for instance, if you get a slope of 10 over 20, I am not going up 10 over 20. Simplify that to 1/2. Okay? Yes, it will give you the same line. No, I don't want to go up 10 over 20. Simplify the slopes. Does that make sense? Okay? That should be everything you need for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Have a good weekend.